Welcome to this Storybuilder video tutorial. The title of this tutorial is Bowties Part 2, the right hand side. If you haven't already done so, please first watch Bowties Part 1, the left hand side. So to pick up where we left off, after the center event comes the right hand side of the bowtie, or the consequences which result from the accident. As I scroll to the right here, you can see the full extent of the right hand side of the bowtie. But first, immediately after the center event, we have the loss of control event, which leads directly to any potential injury, in this case, the victim's impact as a result of the fall. In other words, in the center event, the victim falls off the ladder, and that leads to this loss of control event, where the victim hits the ground or some other surface. In another bowtie, this could be the center event of a fire, which leads to a victim's contact with that fire. Note that in this case there is the barrier of fall protection, which has to fail in order for this event to occur. In other words, a lack of adequate fall protection leads to impact. The next box group occurs in every single bowtie. The dose determining factors which determine the severity of the effect of the accident on the victim. In this case, these dose determining factors include the height of the fall, for example, and here you can see branching off of that lots of different potential heights. Down here we also have the type of surface the victim lands on. That's another dose determining factor, and then down here we have anything else the victim might impact during the fall. Now, all of these influence the extent of the victim's potential injuries. That's what a dose determining factor is. Now I'm just using the root button to get us back to the center. Now scrolling right, we get to the next box group, which is outgoing bowties. Now this refers to any other accidents that might result from the initial accident, which in this case is the victim's fall. So here, for instance, the victim's fallen from a ladder, but this leads ultimately to a fall from height, in this case a scaffold. And here we see other possible outgoing bowties. Now the following barrier group, like dose determining factors, also occurs in every single bowtie, and it is usually the final barrier group. This is the emergency response barrier, which deals with the response to the accident, such as immediate treatment, calling an ambulance, etc., and it's therefore the final safety barrier between the victim and any consequences. These consequences appear in the final 5 box groups, seen here. First we have part of the body injured, which is pretty self-explanatory. These boxes here list all of the potential body parts that you could injure. Next we have type of injury, which again is fairly straightforward. We have all the different types of injury that can occur. Next, hospitalization, again very straightforward. Was the victim hospitalized, not hospitalized, or is that data unknown? Next, consequence class, which deals with the ultimate effect of the injury on the victim. And absence from work. How long was the victim absent from work due to the accident? So to sum up these final 5 steps of the right hand side of the bowtie, we have an injury sustained as a result of the accident, which affects any potential part of the body. We then specify the type of injury or injuries sustained. That injury then leads to hospitalization, or not, as the case may be. That injury then has a particular severity, whether fatal, permanent, non-permanent, or unknown. And finally, this injury leads to an absence from work, the length of which could be anything from the victim missed no work at all, to the victim missed just over a week from work, to the victim never worked again. The absence was greater than 6 months, which is actually what a permanent absence would be recorded as. This concludes the bowtie video tutorials. Remember, not all bow ties are the same, but they do all have the same general structure, which these two videos hopefully have covered. On the left hand side of the bow tie, remember, we have the causes which lead to the accident or center event, and on the right hand side of the bow tie we have the consequences which lead from the center event. Thank you for watching this Storybuilder video tutorial. The title of this video tutorial was Bow Ties Part 2, The Right Hand Side.